Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the session today. My name is Derek Spafford, or you can call me Del, and I'm going to be hosting today's session and talking to you for a short while before I hand over to our two presenters today, but more of that in a moment. So, yeah, welcome. This is the the first of three sessions that we've got running this week. But before we begin, just let us know where in the chat box, where are you? Oh, there we go. So Minnat Tranviet is joining us from Chonburi in Thailand. That's not your home country though, right? I recognize that as a Vietnamese name. Is that correct? We've got some more from Vietnam. Let us know where you are and what's the weather like. It's absolutely, I mean, the people in Vietnam will know, as will the people in Thailand, that it's absolutely boiling at the moment in this region. Hi, Toto, how are you? Hi, Susan, nice to see you. Yeah, it's a really, really boiling hot weather today. It's, sorry, Susan's coming in the room. And Guy, hi Guy, nice to see you. Gregory, nice to see you too. All right, let me go through a few slides before we get started. So as I said, this is the first of our three sessions this week, our trilogy of what we call our spring webinar trilogy. And this webinar, or these webinars, these sessions are all about cultivating a growth mindset. Or this one today is certainly growth mindset, but the next two will also be focusing on those areas as well. All about grit and building our children's mindset to help them learn better. Please follow us if you don't already. There are 2 QR codes that you can scan there. This will help you keep up to date with the upcoming events and any new products or new initiatives that we have available. Whoopsie daisy. You will get a certificate. This comes with the thank you email that you'll receive at the end of the session. This will include the recording and the slides. So if you want to share the recording with your colleagues or watch it again, you can do. But please be patient. It sometimes takes a few days to get there. And also don't forget to check your spam folders if you think that you haven't received it. This year at Macmillan, we are launching, or we have already launched, our Changemakers initiative. Changemakers is an exciting new global initiative. I'll let you read that. What we want to do is help to create a more sustainable future for our teachers and for our learners as well. So what Changemakers does, it encourages students to share their ideas and their talents on our Changemakers world. This is a website, an online hub, which is the heart of Changemakers. It helps teachers find inspiration by introducing some of the key themes from the UN Sustainable Development Goals into the classroom. These also include global citizenship, diversity, equity, and inclusion as well. It allows students and teachers to explore and reflect on their dreams and ideas of other students and teachers around the world. So it really incorporates a global theme to it by showcasing these talents. So if you're interested, please have a look at our website. So it's part of our Advancing Futures program. So I encourage you to have a look at our website, which I'll show you now. 1 second. Where's my, it seems to have gone, don't worry. The website you can find here, okay? So this is our Changemakers website, and what you can do is upload or see people's ideas about what they are doing to really engage with these sustainable development goals. 1 second, I seem to have lost my my PowerPoint notes. Hang on. Okay, I'll just keep, okay. There we go. Give me 1 moment. we've been having quite a few glitches today. I'm not sure if it is because of the hot weather, but hopefully we'll be fine from now on in. Let me just keep going. So there's the website anyway. So today we are going to be looking, on Thursday, we are going to be looking at embracing failure and learning from our mistakes. This is the second one that we'll be looking at this week. So please, if you haven't registered already, make sure you register to this session. And then today we are focusing on the culture of a growth mindset. And then on Friday, we'll be tying this together with some teaching skills. So we'll be showing you on Friday how we can incorporate correction and building a growth mindset with our students when they're doing writing activities. Today, though, we have two fantastic speakers. We have Super and Blue. Blue is based in our Vietnam office. He is a very experienced teacher and educator with over 13 years of teaching experience and training experience. Hi, Blue. And we've got Super.
Hello,
Hi, Blue. And we've got Super, who's based in our Shanghai office. You've probably met Super before. She's done lots and lots of these webinars before. And Super has a master's degree in applied linguistics from the University of York, has tons of experience as well with training and with teaching as well. So you're two real experts with us today. So today we're going to be talking about a growth mindset. I'm going to look at what is a growth mindset, what's a fixed mindset. Let's try and find out if you are growth or fixed, and then some strategies if we have time. But then I want to pass you over to Super and Blue as soon as possible to get some practical ideas about how you can incorporate it in the classroom. So first of all, what is a growth mindset? Now, I'm going to give you a closed text. So can you, in the chat, just give us your ideas. What, in your idea, is a growth mindset? I've given you some clues there with the letters of the first words. So a growth mindset is the belief that our abilities, so when I get the answer, I'm just going to pull it up. Excellent. Our abilities and our I. Anybody got I? Oh, intelligence. Very good. Can be developed through hard work. D. What's the D? Diligence. Oh, I like that word. Dedication. Fantastic. It's going really quick, so I can't shout your names, but just be happy that you got it right. And learning from M. Yes, mistake. Someone's reading on quickly. Good job. People with a growth mindset understand that their S, that their strengths, good, could be, are their skills, and A, abilities, we had that before, can improve with P. What do we do with a growth mindset? We have to do lots of this. Starts with P. We have to, potential is a nice word. Oh, sorry. I was looking at the wrong one. Sorry. Effort, of course. Practice and persistence. Very nice. So this sums up really nicely what a growth mindset is. All right. So people with a growth mindset, they know that they can get better by working harder and practicing more. All right. Is this you? Do you think you're this kind of person? Have a think. Now let's compare that with a fixed mindset. All right. So the same thing. So a fixed mindset, people with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities and intelligence are set in stone and can't be what? They can't be, thank you very much, they can't be changed. Yeah. They believe that their success or failure is predetermined by their, this is a collocation, natural talent. Thank you. I've put it down as a plural, but singular is fine. Or lack of, all right? So individuals with a fixed mindset only think in terms of their S and W. These two words go together as well. Our our strengths and weaknesses. Thank you very much. Yeah. So having a fixed mindset, I would say, though, it seems to be, when you're thinking about growth and fixed mindset, it seems to be that having a fixed mindset is a bad thing. But actually, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a fixed mindset. And there's lots of research out there that suggests this. One which I looked at is from Berkeley University. And I'll share a list of research with you in a moment. I'll put it into the chat. That says having a fixed and a growth mindset can be beneficial, and actually is the case. We all have a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. All right, they're dynamic. We can't just have one or the other. They go together. Having a fixed mindset can really help you understand that sometimes you need to take care of your responsibilities, and even if you don't want to do them, having a fixed mindset helps you get through those responsibilities that you might not really engage with or want to do. You just have to do them, right? But a growth mindset is there for education, it's for learning. All right, so the best way to learn is to use a growth mindset, particularly if you're learning something new. Maybe if you're learning something you already know and you want to revise or recheck it, a fixed mindset might help you. But certainly learning something new in the classroom, in education, we would say that a growth mindset is the way forward. Now, I have a PDF there that you can see, and I'll put that into the chat in a moment when I've stopped talking. So this is a PDF showing you all of a list of some of the research that I've been looking at while I was preparing for this. So which one are you? Do you have a fixed or a growth mindset? All right, what would you say? Write it into the chat. What do you think? Have you got a growth mindset? Have you got a fixed mindset? You could write G or F, up to you. We've got some G's coming in. Good, okay. That's nice. No G and F's, just G's. So I would say I'm a G and an F, but more a G than an F, I would say. I think so. Now, I'm going to show you some phrases that I've heard recently, and I want you to tell me, first of all, have you said these yourself? And do you think these are growth mindset phrases or fixed mindset phrases? So we're all scared of ChatGPT, aren't we? We're all terrified it's going to do our job for us, and we're not going to be needed in the future. I think by saying that, obviously this is a fixed mindset, yeah. And turning that into a growth mindset would be something. This is something that Super was talking about when we were discussing this the other day. Actually, how can ChatGPT help me rather than how can it replace me? That would be the difference between a fixed and a growth mindset. This one, what? Oh no, the photocopier, it's broken. How am I going to teach? I can't teach without handouts. And again, this is kind of, okay, it might be your first reaction, but then hopefully you can flick this and turn this over to then think about what you could do differently in your class, what opportunities this opens up to you by not having a photocopier or handouts. So it's changing that attitude, have a positive attitude as well. I can't teach online. I'm sure we all said this at the start of the last couple of years, and now we're all experts, right? And I think this has been a really good evidence of how people have had to learn quickly and really utilize that growth mindset that is in all of us. I've been teaching for 20 years. I've been teaching for over 25 years, and I've never said this. Okay, this would be something that you might want to challenge somebody. If they said this in the teacher's room, you might want to say to them, are you sure? Are you sure you know everything? Are you sure you can, there's nothing else for you to go and find out about? It's not the greatest of attitudes, is it? And you being here right at this moment in time shows you're not that person, right? Obviously, you've come here to try and do something else. All right, well, I've talked a lot and I've given you a brief introduction, and my 10 minutes is now up. I'm going to pass you over to Super and Blue, who are going to take you through the session today. So have a great session. And I will see you on the other side. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Dal, for the great introduction. Yes. So Blue and I are going to take over. So Blue, would you like to start first, or should I start first?
Go ahead, Super. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So yeah, I really do resonate a lot with what Dell has already said earlier. And we always have like a very big challenge in motivating students. So I think cultivating a growth mindset could be like a very good solution or a way to make students motivated. Yeah, they know they can grow, they know they can make efforts to improve their learning. So this is a great way, I think, to support students in the classroom, and it is a very, very effective way for teachers to cultivate a growth mindset, while when we planning for our lessons and integrate growth mindset into the lesson planning, that would be maybe fundamentally helpful for our students and teachers to make progress and develop a growth mindset. So I will start with the first practical idea for you. So it is very important for students to know they are making progress. So while seeing the progress and the growth, they will be able to know, okay, I can develop and I can improve. So the first tip would be build a growth mindset through goal setting and progress checking. So make them visible, make them part of the learning process is really, really key. So I will show you how. So let me know in the chat box while I go through the examples. So I'm going to tell you something about the can-do statements. And these are the new elements we have been adding to our course books in recent years. And you can see, for example, from one course book called Learning Well from Macmillan Education, published recently. This book really integrates and add all the can-do statement at the end of each lesson. For example, you can see there is like a one can-do statement showing the goal for each lesson. And when you look at the unit, you will find there are very smart goals for each lesson of the unit. So they're very specific, measurable, and achievable, relevant, and time-bound as well. So I think this could be an example for teachers like you. No matter what course book you are using, no matter what content you are teaching, you could always come up with one can-do statement at the end of each lesson and make sure they are smart. And then engage the students with the goal setting process, and also make sure you check the progress with the students using these can-do statements as part of the learning process. So you can see I can name 10 farm animals. I can read the story, and I can say the words with CK letters. And also even more complicated ones, for example, I can research and teach about a farm. So these smart goals can really make sure your students know what to expect and what to achieve at the end of each lesson and unit. And make sure you also check the progress at the end as well. While having these goals set up at the beginning of the lesson or at the beginning of the unit, you work with the student, discuss with them, these are the goals. And then while you go through the unit, while you teach, while they learn, we check the progress from time to time. And for example, we can make them visible for young learners. For example, here we have some footballs, and you can ask the students to write all the can-do statements, the goals on these footballs. And then while they achieve one goal, they just put the football into the place to showcase that they have achieved that goal, to make the process visible. They know, okay, they have a goal, and then they achieved it at the end, and that will create a very good sense of achievement. And they will feel very motivated to learn. And for older students, you can use another very good tool called Success Folder. So you can also ask your students to, remember and record their progress and achievements by creating like a personal success folder, individual one, and then they can personalize the folder. They can write a quote on the cover, they can draw on it, they can design it in the way they like, and then they put all the achievements in that folder. For example, they can use the can-do statements, they can write down on small pieces of notes, and then they can, take them and put them into the folder. And also don't forget to reflect on all the achieved like goals as well. For example, to start the week with a high spirit, you can ask your students to open their folder and check what they have achieved earlier and then move on to the new goals. So these ways can really make the learning like goals and also the progress visible to your students. From time to time, you will notice they will be really motivated and great to make goals and also achieve them in the learning process. So, and also there are some reflective activities you can use at the end of the unit, not only at the end of the lesson. You can wrap up the whole like unit by reflecting on the learning. For example, the students will be thinking about in this unit what I did and what I can do now and what is my favorite part. They can also rate on their feelings about their learning in this unit and also make their next plans as well. So you will see they have the what can I do next after reflecting on what they have learned. So this is the first tip I would like to share with you. And let me have a check in the chat to see what's the feedback from you guys. Wonderful, nice idea. Okay. I'm glad that you like this tip. And now hand over to you, Blue. Come up with the next practical idea for teachers.
Thank you very much, Super. That was super. You cannot start sharing while the other participant is sharing.
Yes.
Gizaway, could you? There you go. Thank you, Super, very much. All right. That's not what I want to share, is it? One moment, everyone. Let's try that again. Okay, here we go. Let's try again. Is that better? Can everyone see that? Can you confirm that, Super?
Yes.
Wonderful. So thank you very much for that, Super. So the second tip is a little bit broader, less so book specific, but with book examples. And what I would take a look at, the next part, is basically trying again and having that sort of positive approach. I mean, it goes hand in hand, doesn't it? If you're going to have a growth mindset, you have to be positive. You have to sort of allow yourself to have that knowledge of, well, I'm going to have disappointment, but I can grow from it. I can expand, I can improve. And that goes without saying, really, with what growth mindset is. And oh, hello. Hello, this is Happy. Hey, Happy, how are you? Yes, it has started, actually. I'm just in the middle of introducing my part. Super's just gone. Yes, I will introduce all your friends. So for guys who need a little bit of context here, this is Happy, one of a number of wellies from the Learning Well series of books, this new primary book, which has a very specific look and concentrates on that whole social emotional learning element and well-being, of course, within the title. And just as Super was alluding to there, it's a new book in the Macmillan Education series, which we're very excited about. And you will be introduced to a number of the characters from the series in the next few minutes. So thank you, Happy. I will have a great session. I appreciate that, but I must move on. So I'm sure this analogy is nothing new to any of you. I'm sure you've seen it all before. The whole glass half empty or is it full? Of course, it alludes and refers to, are you an optimist or are you a pessimist? Okay, and this is very important with regards to learning and that growth mindset as well, because you can't be having that sort of negative outlook if you want to sort of encourage and cultivate the idea of growth mindset. It has to be a positive outlook. Unlike this guy here. Okay, so we've met Happy, everybody. So have a guess. What do you think his name is?
Dad.
What do you think? Yes, Lernuing, thank you very much. That is, of course, sad. So all of them, they don't have the nouns as names, they have the adjectives of names. And that is sad. So yeah, you need to cultivate that positive outlook and encourage students to be proactive when dealing with said failure. It's a part of growing up, regardless of it pre-primary, primary, secondary, or adulthood. Failure is part of life, and adopting that growth mindset will certainly help them in their approach to their studies, as we will see in a moment. And finally, if I can get my mouse working, is realizing, and this is very important and something I'm sure as educators you do stress, there are multiple roads to success, and often those roads are bumpy, they're long, they're laborious, they can be repetitive, but your goals, as Super alluded to earlier, are achievable at the end. But there's multiple roads that students will take that lead them there. There's just not that one direction. And of course, another picture here, which I'm sure you're familiar with, given the context of what I'm talking about. If you fall off that horse, of course, what are you going to do? You're going to persevere. And that is about the ability to get back on the horse and try again. And again, that's something that's a key element of growth mindset, because you're going to get students who feel like this. Who do we think this is, guys? We've had sad already. So who do we think that is? You're going to get students who are going to feel just like this character's name, begins with a D, disappointed. Okay, everyone say hello to disappointed. You're going to get students who are going to feel disappointed every single lesson where they don't achieve immediate success. But that's where perseverance is key, and seeing that the mistakes and failure are part of that learning journey. And that's something that has to be cultivated in your classrooms where, hey, hello, disappointment, I'm going to try and succeed. Okay, so there it is. So in terms of content, so again, I'm going to use Learning Well as my example here, but of course, any course books you have, this is perfect. Lesson 3, story time. Okay, so throughout the Learning Well series, lesson 3 is all about the story. But as you might see there, I've just tried to highlight it here, is the phonics. And what a lovely sound for these primary students to practice, the TH sound. Now, we're not looking at the voice TH sound, which in my opinion, as an educator, particularly here in Vietnam, is a lot easier for students, them, these, those. Okay, it's the harder, more difficult and softer unvoiced, the one between the teeth and the tongue. Okay, the 3, the thank, the think. Now you're asking, again, just from my experience, I don't know about Thailand, Philippines, Middle East, China, but here in Vietnam, my word, do students struggle with this sound? Okay, and that's where perseverance really plays a part. And so what can you do with it? Because you're going to get that inevitable disappointment. Students will not be able to do this straight away, and they're going to feel like this. What do we think, guys? Who's this? Who's this welly? Lernuing, you are on fire today. It is, of course, angry. You're going to get students that are angry. It's not angry. I've made a mistake there. There is angry, but this isn't angry. It begins with an F. FR. Thank you, Stephen. Top man. Yeah, it's frustrated. And again, that translates into anger, doesn't it? It translates into disappointment. All of those feelings that can be pented up inside of a young learner. So what can you do with these? Number 1, accept the difficulty, see it as a challenge. Translate that to your students and make them realize they're not alone. Okay, this is very important, especially within the world of ESL. Okay, you're not the only ones who find this difficult. Even native speakers can find this particular sound very challenging. Okay, and then what can you do? You can embrace the challenge and have fun with it in an organic way that allows everyone to relax and practice without feeling the pressure of disappointment and failure. So what I would do is the good old tongue twister in my class. So I'm not going to read this to you guys. I want you just at home right now or in the office, wherever you are, I would like you just to have a go at reading this out loud, if you can, to yourself. Okay, go ahead. I thought a thought, but the thought I thought wasn't the thought I thought I thought. If the thought I thought had been the thought I thought, I wouldn't have thought so much. Oh, that's a mouthful, as it should be, a tongue twister. So what you can do is you can make it fun, you can make it engaging. And then what I would do personally in my class is I would try to elicit and identify any other TH unvoiced sounding words. Okay, so again, there's a number, isn't there? 3, think, thank. Throw, thumb. Month, teeth. So even using it as a final sound as opposed to the first sound. 3,333. Okay, and then what I would get my students to do is task them to write their own tongue twister and challenge their classmates. So they're sharing around all these different tongue twister challenges. It's fun, it's silly, everybody's making mistakes, and all of a sudden that anger and disappointment and frustration disappears, and you're kind of left with feeling beginning with E. Elated, Jay. I mean, that's a good one. I like that a lot, but it's actually excited. But you're not wrong in your guess. They will feel elated, they'll feel excited. And after they've achieved all this, maybe they haven't finessed and honed that sound perfectly, but they've practiced, they've improved, they're going to feel like this. This is the final welly beginning with P. What do we think, everybody?
Proud.
Super, you're cheating, you already knew. Thank you, Toto, thank you, Jay, thank you, Ratana, thank you, everyone, proud. And I think that's honestly what it's all about instilling, just that idea of a growth mindset and how accepting failure, you're gonna get 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds who are gonna be disappointed, angry, they're gonna vent in different ways. But ultimately, if you can just make it a little bit more lighthearted and approach difficult challenges in that kind of manner, it's going to lead to a lot more success in your classroom. Yeah, super, back to you.
Yes, I would like to follow up with Blue's ideas as well. Blue just mentioned about a lot of emotions students might go through when they learn something difficult, when they meet a challenge, right? So it is very important because we know young learners could be a little bit emotional. Sometimes it's really, really hard for them to manage their feelings or recognize their own feelings. But it is very important for teachers to let them understand, okay, we all have these feelings. We can, accept these feelings and we can overcome these feelings together. So by creating, a safe and a friendly environment in the classroom could be a way. So for example, my second tip for cultivating a growth mindset is by introducing social emotional learning in the classroom. And Blue has just also introduced the wellies, the different small characters from Learning Well. It is a way of characterize these emotions into these small characters, to make the emotions visible, make them like human beings, to let the young learners feel easy to access these feelings and understand how they feel. So as part of the lesson, as part of the course, and it is also the key of the Learning Well course, the new primary course from Macmillan Education, social and emotional learning is at the heart of it. And I'm sure teachers in the audience have already heard about social emotional learning a lot, because we have done a lot of webinars on social emotional learning before. And now we have been seeing a tendency that social and emotional learnings are very comprehensively integrated into the course book, in Learning Well. And especially I'm going to focus on self-management. Blue has introduced the way how the students can recognize their own feelings, right? That's more about the self-awareness. And with a good self-awareness, then they can move on to have more self-management skills to cultivate a growth mindset. And I will show you how. Okay, so self-management is all about how the students can manage and tolerate emotional responses and triggers. And based on that, they can be better, be a better learner to manage themselves, motivate themselves to learn and to grow. So I will show you an example from Learning Well. Two examples, for example. So these are two units in Learning Well. It is based on the self-management like skills of social emotional skills, and we have a focus on, for example, being good at planning. I can reach my goals, or keep going. I don't give up. So these like self-management skills are all related to a growth mindset. We want to like cultivate like persistence or resilience in students' learning and help them to grow a mindset that can help them to achieve their goals and never give up. So these are two examples from Learning Well, and I would like to show you how these self-management skills are taught actually in the classroom using Learning Well, because that's how we have been designing our course book. So if you want to introduce social emotional learning in your classroom, it is like it can be a good example for you. For example, we introduce the value in each story. First of all, the students are going to read a story about the characters from Learning Well, and then they will learn about the value. For example, I can manage my feelings. And after reading the story, they will have an opportunity to explore the story, to discuss the values learned, which is like part of the social emotional learning like framework. And apart from that, that is all like what we usually do in our student book, right? In the unit, in the story lessons. But apart from that, we could also have an extra focus on social emotional learning. For example, in Learning Well, we have a book, very, very special book called Wellness Book. So in this wellness book, we will have a special like lessons to focus on that social emotional learning skills. For example, we have the I can reach my goals, focusing on self-management skills, right? So we are going to actually teach the self-management skills like explicitly to the students. We go through what this skill is. We have time to discuss and talk, and then the students are going to practice as well. So you will find all these like lovely wellies there, right? The students are going to recognize their feelings. For example, how do you feel when you walk towards a goal? Are you nervous? Are you excited? They were going to recognize how they feel, and then think about themselves. How do you think they feel? And then make a how can you manage your feelings when you walk towards a goal? So they're going to make a plan. For example, they will need to think about what is my goal? And if I want to achieve my goal, what should I do? And if I don't get there, what do I feel? And what else can I do to make that happen? So we guide the students like through the process of thinking about how they can develop a growth mind, how they can reach their goals by working hard, by making efforts. And they will also take a moment to meditate as well. So that is part of a wellness like lesson. And in these wellness lessons, like a growth mindset can be very well like taught and also guided through. The students will have a very explicit like thinking process to understand what it is, how they can develop, and what they can do. And at the end of this lesson, they're also going to read a story about how they can find a solution to help. And then they will write a journal about their learnings of this social emotional learning skill. And at the end, they will make a plan to achieve their goals. So this like step-by-step guidance from the wellness book is actually one example for teachers to integrate social emotional learning in your classroom and to teach like self-awareness or self-management skills explicitly in the classroom, and to build a growth mindset like this. Okay, so this is a very good example from wellness book, from like the Learning Well course book. You could have a try in the classroom to see if this can work for your classroom and students. Okay, so also hand over to you, Blue, for the last practical idea.
Thank you, Super. So before I move on, you might have noticed, everybody, With regards to the wellies, the characters, we've met sad, we've met frustrated. We didn't meet angry, but he's about. And of course, we did meet happy at the beginning. You might notice that a lot of those adjectives relate to sort of negative feelings. We try to avoid the word negative because they're just feelings at the end of the day. And actually, by exposing students to the names, it kind of helps them in a more of an organic way to sort of be accepting of them, and almost the fact that they can express themselves with what they are. And so we certainly see that as a positive in the Learning Well series, the fact that it does look at the whole field of feelings of that particular age level, not just the positive ones, but also the ones that might be detrimental, but can be turned into a positive as well, just as long as they've got that ability to express. All right, so let me move on. And let me share my screen and hope for no gremlins. There we go. All right, so let's say goodbye to proud. And I must begin my next part by asking for your help and assistance, everybody, because we have a character. His name is Guilty, okay? There's Guilty. And you know what? At times he can be just that, guilty. And he does have a tendency to go missing. He comes back. You will tend to see him now and again. But what I need from you guys is I need you to just count how many times you see Guilty throughout my part of this session. Okay, so just keep a mental note of how many times he appears and let's try and find him. Okay, there he is, Guilty. No reward. I'm sorry about that. You get your certificate. There's your reward, okay? So anyway, a quick quiz. Everybody in the chat, can you please tell me, what is this? A difficult one to begin. V, J, oh, guys, you are on fire today. It's a banana, na. Yes, well done. It's a yellow banana. And what's this? Short form is fine. Just put the 2 letters. There you go, Jay. Thank you. It's a TV. It's a television. And finally, everybody, what's this? And I lied because this is the last one right here. What's this? If anybody actually tells me the name of the painting, I would be very surprised. Yeah, just painting. I like that word, abstract, abstract. It's something, but we don't know what. Maybe you think it's something, but I think it's something different. And that's what we're looking at in this next part of growth mindset. Interpretation and opinion. And very much not just your opinion, but being accepting of other people's opinions, especially in the classroom when you're of primary age, okay? You're not always right, but it doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you have to listen to other people as well. So that's what I would like to focus on in this particular part, how we interpret things differently and how that can lead to different opinions within that primary level age. So when it comes to that growth mindset, oh, bear with me, I've just put the chat box. We recognize that everyone has unique experiences that sort of mold them, who they are, and it sort of impacts their mindset going forward. But we can learn and grow from that. But it's also different because we all have different experiences that make us who we are, okay? And that leads to different opinions. So within that, we need to also understand and appreciate that people might think differently towards us and the way we think as well. So how can we connect that to content in books? So again, I'm going to use an example from Learning Well. And I think the best way to sort of give an example of this is through a project lesson. Because of course, you guys know projects are very hands-on and they're very almost team-based collaborative pieces, okay? And so in the Learning Well series, there's a number of different projects that focus on different things, okay? It might be a project that is creative, research-based, community, or even performance-based. Okay, there might be some art pieces, there might be some dramatical pieces, a song, a poster, a number of different things. And of course, in that classroom, your students are going to be faced with a number of different scenarios and situations. So projects are a great way to sort of get them to understand that they have to be working as a team, collaborating while sharing their opinion, but also listening to others. So they must work cohesively when facing these challenges and, most importantly, disagreements, because they're really left with 2 options at that level, aren't they? They can argue and waste time. Oh, my idea is better than yours, Super. No, it isn't, Blue. My idea is better. Or really, you can listen to each other. You can voice your opinion in a polite manner and discuss it and find a solution. And that's very much connected to that growth mindset mentality of I'm going to listen. I might be right. I might be wrong, but let's voice ourselves. And of course, what that leads to is just that nice way in the classroom of fostering growth mindset culture and shared responsibility. And that's something that should be stressed as well. The whole idea of I'm not alone in this project. I don't fail as an individual, we fail as a team. So if someone does a bad job because they're just not cooperating enough, that also comes back on the whole team as well. So even at this young age, you know, the primary age of 5 to 11, maybe, it's something that should be fostered and emphasized as a learning process. And really, that shared responsibility and that collaboration can lead to problem solving and some really magical pieces in the classroom. But again, it's not something you really have to teach as such, but it's something you must foster and adopt in your classrooms in order to see the most organic and sort of fruititious results. If fruititious is even a word, did I just make that up? I don't know. But finally, it's that celebration as a team. Okay, you fail together, you succeed together. And projects are a great example of that when it comes to fostering that growth mindset sort of perspective. So thank you for all of your help locating the whereabouts of Guilty. Here he is. Please put in the chat, how many times did you spot him? Yeah, yes, a few, thank you. I double checked and I double checked again, but I think it was 6. You're quite right. Yeah, thank you guys. So before we conclude, guys, we've got a few questions. There was one question that I would like to go back to. Now I'm just seeing the number 6 everywhere. So it's going to take me a while to jump back to it. But basically it was Joanna. Apologies, Joanna, I'm just trying to find it now. And Joanna posed the question earlier, and it's a very good question and a fair question, really. Joanna says, with all these goal setting activities, which again, with the example we gave you from Learning Well, it's very centric to that, about trying to be proud of achievement, but trying to know what those goals are. And how can you avoid basically within that system of having the students that always achieve their goals whilst others might not get there straight away? And I guess the answer to your question, Joanna, is just that. Whilst they are goals, make sure in your classroom you adopt them as progressive goals and not immediate things to achieve. So whilst you might have that student who does it straight away over the weekend, okay, you might have other long-term goals that you sort of encourage in your class that, hey, well, that's great, Joanna, you've achieved it. Maybe James hasn't quite got there yet, but he's on the right road. He's on the right path, as I mentioned earlier. There's a number of paths to success. So whilst it is explicit in this series of books, and I think it's a great thing to celebrate, because I think at this age, it should be explicit when it comes to achieving goals and what those goals are. And I think Learning Well does that well. Of course, as a teacher, if you do want to sort of template that and moderate and sort of change it, then by all means, I think that's a great approach. You don't want it to be turning into a competition in your classroom. Okay, yeah. Any questions, everyone?
Yeah, I also wanted to add to that question as well, because by cultivating a growth mindset, I think it also means like each student can grow on their maybe in their way or on their own pace. It is not necessarily like every student is growing at the same pace. So by like making the goals or setting the goals, I think the students could be involved together with the teacher. We can differentiate a little bit the goals if necessary. Yeah, not all the students in the classroom have the same goals. And the most important thing is we praise the students' efforts, not the results. Yeah, we always encourage the students by saying that you made great efforts, you have been trying really hard, instead of, okay, you did a great exam, you achieved the results. That's something they can celebrate when they did it, when they made it. But as a teacher, we could always encourage the students by praising the process, praising the efforts instead of the results or the grades. So this is also part of how we could be cultivating a growth mindset as a teacher as well. And if necessary, differentiate the growth and also, make sure you have maybe differentiated worksheets for higher level students or lower level students, to make sure they can achieve their own goals and feel a sense of achievement as well.
Certainly, super. And I've just shared something, everyone, in the chat. It's a PDF. I'm sharing it on the screen now so you can see it for reference. And basically, it's kind of what Del alluded to within his introduction about the difference between a fixed mindset and growth. And it's a mix, it's a matching activity. You can do it as yourself as a teacher, or feel free to hand it out to students. The answers are at the bottom there. But basically matching up what might be that sort of negative, I can't do it, fixed mindset kind of adoption. Here, for example, I'm not good at this, okay? In terms of how do you turn that 90 degrees and go, actually, I'm not doing this at the moment. What am I missing? What do I need to do in order to improve? So there's just a nice matching activity there for you to do, okay? So before you leave us this afternoon, this morning, this evening, wherever you are in the world, let me just run through some general housekeeping for you. Again, thank you for being here, wherever you are in the world. So one moment, let me just share my screen. I have to go back to the slides, make sure I don't share the wrong screen. There we go. And so, how many times did you spot him? It was 6. So again, don't forget that you can follow us. We are online, of course. You can follow us on Facebook and even WeChat. And any particular products there in China or the rest of Asia, you can get in touch with our sales teams, okay? And yes, a few people in the chat said, will we receive certificates? And the answer, of course, is yes, you will. If you can just wait for the next few days, make sure you check your spam folder as well, but you will all receive a certificate for hanging out with us today. And let's not forget change makers, okay? This whole what, who, why, how, and when. This is a new initiative right here from Macmillan Education. Basically, we're giving schools the opportunities, teachers the opportunities, the platform to encourage their students to look at the world in a different way that makes it more sustainable, which is very important this day and age, isn't it? All of this ties in with the themes from the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And basically, it's a platform where you can encourage students to showcase their work and share it around the world. And the whole program really is designed to help you, the teachers, you, the educators, share knowledge, develop skills, and promote that positive attitude and actions that make lasting change in the next generation's world. For more information on change makers, feel free to take a quick pic of that QR code, I think that's the word, which will take you directly to the website. And before I finish, do not forget to join us on Thursday, 11th of May, when myself and Del, with the host being Super, we will take a look at embracing failure, okay? Sort of building on what we did today and how you can benefit from mistakes that you make. And of course, on Friday, 12th of May, myself and Super will be sitting back in our favorite armchair with a cup of tea whilst we discuss the latest goings on in more of a discussion which involves you guys. You know, these things live and sort of, they're successful with you, with your input. Basically, we'll be discussing writing skills. So your input in this session is really important and valued, and really gives us some meat to the bone where we can discuss about writing skills, okay? So please do think about joining us for Thursdays and Friday sessions. It's really good to hang out with you. Super, any final words?
Thank you very much for the exit like a speech, and it's very informative. And yeah, welcome back on Thursday and Friday. I look forward to seeing you very soon in the next 2 sessions.
Wonderful. Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone, today. I will see you on Thursday, okay? Don't forget to register.
See you very soon. Bye-bye.